Welcome to On This Day, where we look back at the moments that made history, one day at a time. From major world events to the weird and unexpected, every date has a story. So, what happened on 15th of August? Let's find out. August 15th is one of those dates that's packed with significance around the world. It's seen the birth of nations, decisive battles, big scientific leaps, cultural milestones, and a few surprises that remind us history is anything but boring. Let's take a trip through the stories that make today stand out. In 1947, India gained independence from Britain after nearly 200 years of colonial rule. At midnight, Jawaharlal Nehru delivered his famous Tryst with Destiny speech, and the subcontinent was split into India and Pakistan. It was a moment of joy, but also of heartbreak, as partition triggered mass migrations and violence. On this day in 1969, Woodstock kicked off on a farm in upstate New York. What was planned as a small festival turned into an iconic gathering of over 400,000 people. 3 days of peace, music, mud, and counterculture spirit created a legend that still defines an era. Back in 1914, the Panama Canal officially opened to traffic. After a staggering engineering effort plagued by disease and danger, the canal created a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans that transformed global trade forever. August 15, 1945 is celebrated as Victory over Japan Day in many countries. On this day, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender, ending World War II. People around the world took to the streets in relief and celebration, marking the close of one of history's darkest chapters. In 1960, the Republic of the Congo, now often called Congo-Brazzaville, declared independence from France. It was part of a huge wave of decolonization sweeping Africa that year, as nations reclaimed self-rule and began charting their own paths. On this day in 1769, Napoleon Bonaparte was born on the island of Corsica. Love him or hate him, he would go on to reshape Europe through war, law, and politics, leaving behind a legacy still studied in military academies and classrooms everywhere. In 1948, South Korea was officially established when Syngman Rhee was inaugurated as the country's first president. It was the formal start of a new nation on the divided Korean peninsula, setting the stage for decades of tension with the North. In 1965, the Beatles played to over 55,000 fans at Shea Stadium in New York City. It was one of the first major stadium rock concerts, with screaming fans drowning out the music and proving just how massive Beatlemania had become. Love discovering what happened on this day in history? Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. On August 15, 1911, Procter & Gamble introduced Crisco shortening. It was marketed as a modern, clean, and economical alternative to lard and butter, completely changing baking and cooking in American kitchens. In 1971, U.S. President Richard Nixon announced the end of the gold standard for the dollar. It was supposed to be a temporary move, but it permanently transformed global finance, letting currencies float freely and kicking off a new era of economic policy. On this day in 1944, Allied forces launched Operation Dragoon, landing in southern France during World War II. It was a successful push that helped liberate France faster by squeezing German forces from both north and south. In 1824, the Marquis de Lafayette, hero of the American Revolution, returned to the United States for a grand tour. He was greeted like a rock star, cheered in city after city as a living link to the nation's founding. August 15, 1914, also marked the completion of the Panama Canal's first official transit by the cargo ship SS Ancon. It wasn't just an engineering triumph, but a symbol of American power and ambition on the world stage. And in 1998, the Omagh bombing in Northern Ireland killed 29 people in the worst single incident of the Troubles. It was a tragic event that shocked the world and helped spur renewed efforts toward peace in the region. That's what happened on 15th of August throughout history. Made it this far? Drop your favorite historical fact in the comments. Learned something new? Hit subscribe and come back tomorrow. You never know what the past has in store.